116th Hotline.
It's your girl Sadie.
It's Val B.
And this is Sutana.
And welcome back to another episode of
116th
Hotline.
Hey, if this is your first time ever watching or listening to us, we are a trio of sisters who just talk about things in life that we need to understand.
Someone need to talk about it. Let's unpack it.
A little bit of unpacking.
We're unpacking our thoughts. We're unpacking our
Emotions.
our emotions,
our personal experiences.
Yes. So if you want to follow along, if you need a group of girlfriends to talk to, we are virtually here for you.
Period.
And if you're
Hotline,
just
so
thank
if you call us, we'll pick up.
yes,
It'll ring.
We'll pick you
period.
up.
And if you guys are just listening to us audioly, make sure you head over to YouTube at 116th Hotline so you can see our video. And if you're just watching on YouTube and you want to, go on the go, make sure you listen to us audioly as well.
On Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor.
And Anchor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, May is going to be coming up soon, which is actually a very busy month for me, believe it or not,
Especially for you.
both of my kids' birthdays are in May.
Oh, they are.
Period.
Yes. And then May, for some reason, last year, Vegas, I was in May, I was in Vegas twice. This year, I'm going to be in Vegas in May too.
Yes.
And then both my kids' birthdays are in May, and then I'm taking them out for a trip for their birthday in May also. And it's Mother's Day.
Wait, where are you guys going?
We're going to Corpus Christi.
What's that?
Like a road trip? Or are you
No,
guys
we're flying.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
It's in Texas.
It's with Selena.
Selena.
Oh, really? Yeah. But what are you going to do with the kids there?
Because there's like a aquarium, like the big Texas aquarium is there.
Fun.
And then they have like beaches there, which I know the beaches there aren't that great, but
In Texas.
but the kids, they don't really play in the water. They just play with the sand.
Yeah. That's actually facts.
Yeah. So they're scared of the water, to be honest, my kids.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
But I just want to, kind of reflect that I still can't believe that I'm a mom.
Sometimes it still hasn't clicked that y'all are moms.
Literally, for some reason,
I don't identify as a mother.
that is not my, what is it, my pronoun? Mom, not my pronoun. But
That's not what I identify as. I literally don't identify as a mother. I identify as a bad
Valerie.
bitch.
With kids.
No.
But for some reason, like every time I introduce myself to like somebody new, Evan pointed this out to me, which shout out to Evan.
Hi,
Evan Soraya.
Hola.
Hola, mama.
Did you just say his last name?
Yeah, Evan Soraya.
I don't think you should say that.
Oh,
Just say Evan.
No, he don't care. Give him the clout. He want it. Follow him at Evan.
But he's private, so he has to accept you first.
Yes. But something he pointed out to me was that, like, when I introduced myself to him and, like, I was telling him how old I was and everything, I was like, yeah, I'm 27 and I'm a mom of 2. Like, for some reason, I always have to add that in there, that I'm a mom of 2, just because I feel like the way I act, like, people would have never guessed that I'm a mom. And even till this day, like, people at work are always like, man, I always forget you have, like, a kid. And I'm like, not a kid. I have kids. Plural, baby. Plural. Okay, not including the ones.
The ones in the high heavens?
Ones up there. But you know what?
The ones
they
with
have made me who I am today.
the ones with himself.
Wings.
The ones with
Capital
the wings.
H-I-M.
Capital H-I-M. Moment of silence.
Okay, it's not funny, but if you guys, can we just pause for a second? We have really
Bad humor. Bad dark humor.
Weird humor.
yeah, so please don't get offended when we're
Please
saying
don't.
like stupid stuff. It's literally just because that's just how we are. That's how we cope.
Don't take it seriously.
So don't take us seriously if this is your
Don't-
first time listening to
And
us.
please
Like,
don't be offended because we're literally just
this
is just
don't
how
cancel
we-
us.
how we joke around.
Don't cancel us.
This is just don't cancel us, please. I built my IG following too hard. My little 2,000 followers.
She bought her followers. Ooh, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna buy the verification blue check mark.
Don't do that.
Okay. Anyways, off
Yeah.
topic. But going back to
I know that you're talking about that, Valerie, but I'm just asking. I'm wondering when you do mention that. Oh yeah, and I'm a mom and I have 2 kids. Blah blah blah. Do you feel genuinely proud to mention that part?
Yep, I'm proud because I think because people's perspectives on moms are like old, fat, granny
Unkept.
bitch, like grumpy, like she messy, she don't take care of herself.
Yeah.
But when they see me, they're like, "You're a mom." I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm
She got
sexy.
fake tits. She got her lashes done. She's a nurse.
The brows are ombre.
She's a single mama. Oh,
She's hot. She's fine. She's got titties. She works out. She's a baddie. She's tan. She's tatted.
Yes.
Take me off the roster.
Yes.
And so I think that like I'm so proud to say that because like I said, people's perspective on like moms, they're like they they automatically think like old scrubby fat Betty Joanne. Yeah, and it's like no babe, I'm Scarlett Johansson.
They think about Jillian up the street. They think about they think about Martha.
They thinking about Martha Beth in the kitchen baking them cookies.
Martha.
No, babe. This is Scarlett. Okay, this is Jessica, and she's out to play.
There should be a new category. ABG mom.
Period.
That's Val. Literally. The only thing she's missing is a dragon tattoo.
No, honestly, facts. That's why it's like
Literally.
That's why whenever like this is off topic, side note, but that's why whenever I like try to make content and stuff, it's like it's so hard for me to find my niche because I have so many different things. I could go the nursing route, I could go the fashion route, I could go the mom route. Like I could do so many different things, but it's just
you need
so
to have
hard
a
to pick.
consultation with me.
No,
Yeah.
No, honestly,
Anyways,
honestly,
no,
I mean, I'm not
seriously.
even a content creator. I don't do all that stuff or whatever because I do content. I'm not content. I do social media for fun. But the fact that you just mentioned that, there's a beauty in that. Like you're literally,
I'm diverse.
You're all,
I'm
you're all of the
flexible.
above.
Okay, I'm not trying to like say like social media like education right now, but
Choose one?
what people follow you for is for you. So whether you want to pick a niche of fashion, whatever, what I've learned is that you have to niche down within yourself. So
be
like
authentic followers.
be
will
authentic to
stay.
who you are and have like what they call, okay, this is just like a quick social media lesson, like your lifestyle pillars of your life. Like that's when you lean on to, is like have 3 or 4 things that you want to always continuously present in your social medias, and that's what people follow you for. So for you, right, is because you take care of your body, you're hot and sexy.
I go
right?
to the gym.
Athletic part, and then the other part is your mom. The other part is your nurse, and you're a go-getter. You get the job done. And another one is
I like to go to festivals, right?
exactly. So
I like
those
to
are the
do
things.
makeup,
And then
fashion.
like, why do you have to pick a certain thing when you can be everything?
I'm so elastic, like Elastic Girl. Just that I don't got her body.
Oh my god! And she's not flexible. So you guys don't.
I am actually. Okay, we're off topic.
Anyways,
Going back on topic, so back to being a mom because May is coming up. I actually had a conversation with Levi the other day, just because for people who know Levi, they know that
who's Levi?
Levi is my oldest. He's 6 years old. For people who know Levi, they know that he's very grown. He's very mature. He knows a lot for his age.
Yes.
He picks up on a lot of details, and he knows a lot, and he doesn't say it because he keeps it to himself. But the other day,
He's doing that.
yeah, the other day we were talking, and he was saying about how like he's so proud to be like a big brother and all that stuff. And I told him about how I had another baby before him, the one that I had miscarried. And I told him, I was like, you weren't the first, you weren't mommy's first baby, and like you were not gonna be the first big brother. And I was explaining that to him, and then he understood it because he understands such complex things.
He's smart.
He is very smart for his age. And he was just like, that's okay, mommy. He's like, well, you have me now, and I'm your oldest son. And like he was saying all those reassuring things to me, and it just made me sad because I'm like, someone his age can understand that concept, but adults like 3 times his age cannot.
Yes.
And I think that is so mind-boggling to me because it's like that just goes to show that the adults or the grown-ups that choose not to, they just choose not to.
Close-minded.
Yeah.
And they choose not to understand. Or the thing of it is too, some adults really are just that dumb. Like
Yeah,
I'm
not
not trying to,
close-minded.
Like,
Yeah.
like genuinely, like
they just
not
don't
there.
get it.
Not
Like
there, yeah.
they don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not clicking, Steven.
Exactly. And it's just like, it's crazy that even kids like Levi, some kids can understand the
that.
concept,
Yes.
but adults like can't even understand basic concepts like that.
And that was making me think like, I'm so happy that Levi and Atticus, which Atticus is my younger child, I'm so happy that they have each other because through the divorce, like if Levi would have been on his own, that would have been so hard on him to be by himself, And I know some people who, when they separate from their co-parent, they just leave the whole family like at all. You know, like the kid stays with one parent and then the other parent just ditches them.
Yeah.
You know, and is like out of the story. Like I know one guy, he lives in our area and he's Hmong also, and he hasn't been with his kids for years, and he's just over here living his best life, doing his own thing.
He's basically like just abandoning his kids.
abandoning his kids, and like
just absent.
That makes me so sad.
And I'm even thinking about like, you know, our uncle and his first wife. Like she literally just, I mean, obviously, like they had a custody battle and everything, but before that, she literally abandoned them on a fucking back porch.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna go into details, but like, how can you, as a mother, like, call yourself a mother and abandon your children like that and not feel 1 ounce of, I don't know, like, I forgot what that word is called. Not 1 ounce of guilt.
Yeah.
That you just abandoned the kids that you pushed out of your vajayjay.
That literally changed and morphed your body for 9 months.
They're literally a part of you.
Literally.
Like,
They're half of you. Like half of your DNA.
Because then I think of it as like, you know, think of it right now like you, like, what if your parents did that to you? Or what if your mom did that to you? Or your dad did that to you? Like, how would you fucking feel? You know, like, you could think about, you know, you being selfish in the moment and just abandoning your kids because you no longer want to be with your partner, or you guys have a divorce or a disagreement or whatever. But it's like, that is not fair to children. Like, children, like,
they didn't ask to be here.
Yes.
To be here.
And to me, it's just like, I don't understand that concept. Like, if you do that, and okay, and I'm just gonna explain, like, my uncle's first wife, that she did that, she's now close to
her oldest child,
which is one of the ones that she abandoned. And I'm like, how are you as a mother able to just come back as if nothing happened? Like, and just kind of like shove that under the rug as if you never did that.
I feel like I would have so much guilt and like shame. I would be
As
so
a mom?
embarrassed to even show my face in front of her.
You know, but then I mean, like, just speaking from a third person point of view, because I don't know these people like that, you know, but and just from what I've seen in movies, like a lot of like those type of situations where later on in life where the kids are grown now and the parents are try to come back
like rekindle the relationship.
And in a sense I feel like I see that part, and I support that innocence in a way, but it depending on how the person comes back into the kid's life.
And if you're genuine.
And if they're genuine about it.
I'm just thinking about like Drake. Like, his dad did that.
Yeah.
Like, he left his mom, left him,
and then
came back.
Because now he's
now he's in his son's life. Like, for me, it's just like, I feel like some parents are so fucking selfish. Like, adults, like Valerie said, are so, like, they don't understand the concept. They're so selfish. And then when the kids are all grown up, they have something that the parents want.
Exactly.
They have something that parents want.
That's what I'm saying. Like you said, I think
So
it goes back to selfish. Like, you just want to go back because it's something
for
that's going
you.
to benefit you out of that kid.
Exactly.
And this is not saying for like if you have to leave your kid to go like work or something, you know, this is totally
abandonment. Like,
total abandonment.
This is like your priorities aren't set straight and you still trying to have fun nilly-willy and like you're just like forgetting that you're a parent.
Bye. Like, you literally don't want anything to do with your kids. Like, that is crazy to me.
Just dipped out.
Like,
so
like even for me, like when I think about taking travel nursing contracts, it's just like I can't imagine or fathom the thought of being away from my kids for 16 weeks, and it's not even that I'm leaving them to go party or do drugs and all that shit. I'm leaving them to go work, but I just can't, like, I cannot leave them because they literally grow so fast that like by the time I come back they might not like me the way they did whenever I left them. And just that thought scares me so much. So whenever I think about like parents who literally leave their kids for years on end or like months on end just to go have fun or go do whatever, I'm just like, how can you do that?
You know, it just got me thinking, maybe that's why some parents they tell their kids that the other parent died.
Because
which happens
it makes it easier,
which is easier than saying the truth,
because
like,
then
they literally don't want you.
I feel like in the kid's mind it just gives them like a straight closure. They don't even have to they don't even have to keep wondering and looking for it. Like, why
don't they want me, man? Like, to me it's just like kids are so innocent. Like you said, they didn't choose to be here. And that's what I always say for people that abandon their kids. I'm like, dude, you chose to open your legs. You chose to have intercourse.
And even then, if you chose to have intercourse, you had a choice to have an abortion.
Exactly. Like,
you know, like
there's you're not going to be able to provide for that kid or be in their life.
Like, you did not have to bring that kid here, and
Into the world.
now that kid is gonna live the rest of their life saying like, why am I even here? Like,
Wondering
my
Why
parents
me?
didn't even
They
want
don't
me.
even care about me.
Yeah, and it's
It's a little. It's a little too like often now that you hear about. Like I said, look, that one episode that we talked about, like that one episode that we were talking about. In foster care rates are like it's skyrocketing.
Yeah,
like
like all time high. Yeah.
all time high. Like, what are these people doing? Like, why are you just having kids and leaving them? Like, how? I mean, I'm not a mother, you know. Granted, I'm not a mother, but I mean, I am a teacher and I love kids. If you know me, you know that I love kids. You know, like I literally their
she
kids
loves
are
all
like
her nieces,
Yes.
all her
nieces,
nephews.
Yes.
friends as kids. I consider my nieces my nephews.
Yeah.
I just can't even like imagine that, like you just leaving your kid like and just dipping out of their lives like
And
it's nothing.
what kind of like sucks even more is that there's literally people out there struggling
Yeah.
to have a child and paying thousands and thousands of dollars out of pocket just to even have a chance to maybe get pregnant. Maybe,
Not even like guaranteed.
maybe get pregnant.
Maybe
And
get pregnant. Yeah.
There's people out here having kids left and right and then just whoop up and gone.
Leaving.
I don't know. To me, it's just like there's some people that I feel like once you do that, you should no longer be able to consider yourself a parent.
yeah.
You should
At
no
all.
longer be able to consider yourself a part of that child's
I
life.
feel like you need to get your tubes tied, get your sperm vasectomy.
But you know what's so fucked up is that there will be people that do that, abandon their kids, and then want to have kids with somebody else. Like I don't.
make it make sense.
Selfish.
I cannot fathom that because
Make
it's
it
like,
make sense.
how are you going to take care of a new human being when you literally have like a whole bunch of kids that you just up and left and like
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I think abandonment, like, I feel like I can kind of resonate with it, because like I feel like when our dad came here to Oklahoma and he left us in Wisconsin with my mom and our uncle and auntie.
He was just kind of like doing his own
Yeah,
thing.
he just
like,
like
Well, I
literally
had
that's
no
kind of
idea.
what it was like. 'Cause
it was like months.
it was because
Like, to
him and
come check
Joe,
out the place?
yeah, him and Joe
Oh,
came down here
to
first.
live here first.
to came down here
Oh.
and live here and get settled.
Yeah, it was
like months.
It was months, and my mom
Before you
would
guys
come
even
down.
came here?
Yeah, my mom would come down to visit.
I had
him
no
too.
idea, dude.
So I feel like I can kind of understand a little bit in that sense because I remember vaguely. I remember like acting out a lot when that happened, and I would always get into like fights with our uncle because our uncle lived with us at that time, and I would like always yell at him. I'd be like, "You're not my dad," and I remember like getting into arguments with him all the time and always getting into trouble. So I mean, maybe I have a little bit of daddy issues in that sense. Like I know I have
Let's unpack
daddy
that.
issues.
Let's
Yeah,
unpack
let's unpack that.
So I just like
Hey,
it's
I
just
respect the honesty.
it's just like for people who have their parents or one parent or both parents gone from their life completely like that, it's like it sucks because
There's a hole. It's like there's a hole in your heart.
yeah,
Because, like,
Yes.
I only experienced like a sliver of what that might have felt like.
And you can even
know?
imagine these children. I mean, like we always say, like generational trauma. When they grow up, they're gonna have so much trauma, and like, how do you even start to unpack that? And how do you even start to deal with that and come to terms with that? And then think about it: when they grow up, they're gonna have to learn how to navigate those feelings, and then they're gonna ask again, like you said, see the questions of why did my mom do this? Why did my dad do this? Why was I abandoned? Was I not good enough? Was it my fault? And to me, it's just like, you know, now that we're older and like we know
We're grown,
how to cope with some things and like we have the knowledge. For me, I just want to say to those kids, like, I feel so bad. I just want to be like, it's not your fault. Like
about to
they
cry.
need to go to therapy. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel
it's
like
not your fault.
a lot of people who keep that like close to their heart, they just need someone to tell them that it's not your fault that bad things happen to you.
Yes.
Yep.
Because a lot of people, when they carry around that resentment, they keep it so close to their heart because they're like, no, this is mine to carry because like this happened to me, so I'm gonna keep being angry about it. When really, to let them
It was
to
put on
set them
them.
free and to make them feel
Yes.
better, they just need someone to tell them, you know, the bad shit that happened to you, it's not your fault.
And I was
and
watching,
I hear you.
And I was watching a TikTok video where it was saying something like, okay, so your parents are the adult, right? Then that was their job. It's not your job to do that. It's not your job, to make
parent.
sure that everything went okay because it was not your fault, you
A
know?
lot of them, they had to grow up on their own, you know?
Yes, and they don't get that guidance.
At all. And like I said, all the burden they must have felt.
Yes.
Like, just imagining all of the burden, the the guilt, the grudge that they hold against the curiosity of why, and then having to learn how to grow up and like you said, having to pretty much put that in the back of their head.
Like how to just backtrack and cope with that.
I feel like
it's gonna all hit them.
Yeah, I feel like that's just like a lifelong trauma that's gonna be stuck with them. Like, and then whenever they have kids, they think about like, oh shit, am I being a good enough mom? Am I going to disappoint my kids like my parents disappointed me? Like,
is my husband gonna abandon me?
Yeah, like am I doing things wrong where my kid's gonna think I'm abandoning them? Like, I want to make sure I'm doing everything for them because I didn't get that, and I don't want my kids to get what I got.
That okay, if you're thinking about that, then I mean it's almost like a green flag, I feel like, because it can go either way. It can be that, or they can be like, oh well, I mean this is normal, I mean like whatever, like I grew up without a mom too, so whatever, you know, I'm just gonna like my kid will be okay too. I grew up, I was okay, like I figured it out.
They'll figure it out both ways. Really, it could go really bad, or where you don't give a shit about your kid because you're like, I went through that shit, fuck you. Or it could go really good where you're like, I will nurture this child and make sure this child is loved. But going back to the abandonment thing, like I feel like if you think about like the people who get deported because they're here illegally and they get separated from their kids, and then whenever they reunite, like the kids don't even recognize them. Like that's so sad, because I know someone now who like they left their brand new baby with someone else, and then finally when they got reunited, that kid didn't even want their mom because their mom wasn't the one who took care of them.
I don't. You can't blame them.
Where did they go? Did they just like?
They just I don't know. Went to a different state and just did their own thing. But I feel like that's so sad. Whenever like as a mom, it's just like you carried that child in you for 9 months. You pushed that baby out of your vagina, or you got cut open to have that freaking baby come out.
But
and
honestly,
it's like
some people don't care.
Some people
like
don't.
They don't have that.
They don't have the empathy,
the maternal,
and the maternal instinct,
even though they gave birth to them.
But my question is because like okay, like y'all are moms, so I know that, and I can say I can try to understand where you're coming from, but I can't relate, right? Because I'm not a mom. But the fact that I can relate with like my love for kids, right? Like I can relate my love for kids and just how much I love my students, how much I love my nieces and nephews, you know. And so I can't even, like you say, I can't even fathom to think about really abandoning a baby that you created in your own body, you know. Like you said, do you think there's something psychologically is missing? Like how? Like my question is really how?
And I just want to preface this by saying we're not talking about like people who give their babies up for adoption because they can't.
Okay, right.
Yeah, that's a different story.
Yeah, we're just talking about like in terms of abandonment, as in like people who are able to, but they are malicious with their actions, and they choose to purposely abandon their children.
Yeah, we're not saying about those parents who
just to clarify.
Clarify, not about those parents who give their kids up for adoption, because that's like, you know that you're not capable, and you know that you don't have the funds and the means to take care of children, so you are doing the adult and the bigger thing.
I actually respect people.
Yeah, because you know that you can't do that. We're
specifically talking about malicious intent, where you purposely are leaving them with your partner, or purposely leaving them just
with a family member
anywhere, or with a family member, just because you
to fulfill something with your own for your own
selfish needs,
for your own self.
Like, I don't know.
And we're not saying you can't be a mom and have your own or dad and have your own self alone time. It's like
abandonment.
Literally leaving your kid, not giving two fucks about them.
Yes. Like don't you guys see something wrong with that? Like you as a listener, you as a viewer, like, do you think there's something wrong with that, or do you think we're just over exaggerating? Because I don't know. I just want to hear other people's input. Like, do you truly think that it's okay? Like,
I don't know if it's just because we are human beings with like such kind heart that we think about it from that point of view, or because it's the norm, right? Like, or are those people? Do they seriously have something like psychologically missing? Like how can you be that?
Like, it's not adding up.
Like, it's not.
How can
it's not clicking.
It's not clicking. You know,
it's not clicking. Yeah,
something's got to be missing here for you to be able to do that. Because, like you said, you both have kids. Can you ever imagine yourself leaving kids?
Like, no matter how much I say, like, I fuck around and say, like, oh, you know, like, I don't identify as a mom. Like, obviously, I love my fucking kids, but I could never.
You can never imagine.
Never abandon my children. Like, I do not have the heart to do that. Like, if you have the heart to do that, you should not be considered a parent at all. I say you need that fucking title taken away from you, because
with you. I'm gonna lie, honestly.
Like you said, maybe something mentally is wrong. Maybe they do need help. But me, just the thought of like abandoning a child, just the thought of abandoning a child, to me, I think because we're older now, I just think of the long run, like how, like seeing it from
firsthand as a child.
And from an adult, like, and the things we went through, seeing it as an adult happening to other children, to me, I just feel so fucking bad that I'm just like, dude, if I could just tell you right now, like, it's not your fault. Like, when you grow up, it will all be okay. You know, like it's shitty right now, but when you get older, it will be all right. And just to have the reassurance, like, to me, it's just, oh man, it just breaks my fucking heart. And like, just touching on abandonment, like, there was there was recently another murder suicide case, and it's like those children are being abandoned, and in that point of like, obviously malicious intent in that way, where maybe there's something mentally wrong with the parents, and that's why whatever crimes happened. But it's like, in that sense, even then they're being abandoned. Like, even us, being kids, like, emotionally abandonment. There's so many versions of abandonment that it doesn't have to be just physically, but also emotionally. I feel like that we don't talk about enough either, because as Asian Americans, like, we don't really talk about our feelings with our parents.
And that's what I was talking about, how being vulnerable, like, I was that was never really like exposed. We were never exposed to,
like, we don't talk about feelings at all. You can't like that's why I always try to explain to Oliver, like, it's okay to feel sad, it's okay to feel happy, like, and I try to explain to him, like, tell me how you feel, why do you feel like
talk
that,
about your feelings.
because we don't have that growing up. And it's like, if you think about it, if you don't expose your children to that, or don't have that exposure in general, like us when we were younger, you will have that feeling of emotional abandonment, because it's like you don't know what to do with all these feelings.
Or
even those who like have both parents still in their lives, they can be present, but if they're not like emotionally like
or attentive
like,
I'll be the first to admit that, hey, it's me. I'm the one. I've been through that. Like, I love my parents to death. They've always been there. Like, they've always been present. But like I said, we grew up more traditional. We never, like you said, we never talk about feelings. And it's not so much more of a like, no, don't talk about your feelings. It's just so much more.
It never came out.
It was not a normal thing. So now, as an adult, of course, it's coming back to me, and I'm like, when I'm feeling a whole bunch of emotions, like, especially so more in the sadness emotions, I'm like, I don't know how to express it. Like I bottle everything in. And that's why a few weeks ago I broke down, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what? And even then, when I was breaking down, when I was talking to my coworkers, I was apologizing. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm crying in front of you. I said, like, don't be sorry, Sadie. Don't be sorry for crying. I'm like, oh, okay, so it's okay to do this, and like, whatsoever, I don't resent my parents for that, because they also didn't know how to do it.
It's just what they knew.
It's just like you said, almost literally another generational trauma thing that's been passed down to families. But now that I'm more grown, like you said, we have been doing a lot of soul searching. We're learning how to unpack all of that. We're learning how to navigate our own feelings, like, and take
control of it.
And controls. And even I, as a teacher, like, I've in working with kids, I've seen that a lot now in our more modern life, where adults are telling their kids to, okay, so how are you feeling? Why are you sad? Or it's okay that you're feeling sad. Like, just acknowledge reassurance.
Yeah,
I see you guys do a lot of that, and props to y'all, man. Y'all doing a great job.
It is not easy, but
it's almost like like, for me, I feel like after that day, whenever I had like that breakdown in front of them, they told me it was okay. I was like, wow, that almost literally like healed a part of my childhood, And with you guys doing that with your kids, I feel like you guys are healing your own selves too.
I was just now that as you were saying that, I was just thinking, like, me working in my day job, we work really closely with a lot of mental health associations, and I was just thinking that, maybe I need to bring up something of the fact that we could do something within the community, because it's such a thing that we don't talk about. Emotional abandonment, where it leads to the mental health aspect, where it's like, we don't have a lot of education on that, or like you said, exposure on that. So I think that'd be cool. But
I would really like that, especially like some more in, because we are Hmong, so much more in the Hmong community. Like, we really need to like model that a lot more, model like vulnerability, emotion, just being sentimental in general, in which I'm gonna give credit, because I do see a lot more of that now in the younger parents in our generation. But in all honesty, now that I am older and I'm so much more closer, sorry, just relating back to my personal self, but I am, now that I'm relating more with my mom and we've grown closer, I I've asked her questions. Yeah, it's so crazy because remember that one time when y'all said y'all asked your mom a question?
Yes.
So I asked my mom a question.
Good.
I know, I'm so proud of myself for doing that because I'm that much more comfortable with her. I'm that much more comfortable opening up in general that I asked her a question about something from back then, and I asked her, why didn't you tell? And it wasn't anything horrible, but it was just, it was my menstrual cycle when I started, because she never talked to us about that. So when I went through it, it was just, you know, crazy. And then I was like, why didn't you tell me about that, Mom? Like, I was so confused. And she was like, just like laughing like nervously. She was like, well, I didn't know how to tell you. So I
so then it goes back to like the education, like she wasn't exposed to
maybe she never had that conversation with her mom, and she experienced the same way you did, so she thought that you would be okay just figuring it out on your own too.
It's a cycle, you know, type thing. So like you said, like if you don't show these kids, even like you say, emotional support or anything in general. I mean, it's as sad as it is that even just emotional support goes a long way. Imagine physically not supporting and being there. Gosh, that's
and just literally like dipping. Like imagine this, like being with the family for like, let's say, until your kids are like what, 14, 15, and let's say you have little youngins too, and then you just up and leave. How confusing is that for them?
So confusing.
I remember everything when I was 14. Like,
I remember.
I started working. We were living here already. I remember like the struggles. Like I remember everything when I was 14.
Like to me, it just as an adult, oh man, it just makes me so angry witnessing things like this still happening, and I just truly stick by the thing of, these people that do this should no longer be considered parents, and if they do want to have kids in the future, they should not be allowed to, in my personal opinion, because no parent would be able to do that if they truly love their children.
Yes, I feel like you shouldn't deserve to call yourself a parent for abandoning your child.
Honestly, I'm just envisioning like all kinds of things in my head now that we're talking about it. Like I low-key just want to have one of those, you know, one of those people that have actually abandoned their own parents. I just want to come here. Come outside. I just want to talk.
Come here.
And you know, for people that have done that, what is your reasoning why?
If you are listening,
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, if you're just listening to these people, if you're listening to us and you're like, okay, why? I don't get it. Like, what's the big problem with that?
Like, why am I being called out?
Tell us like, what is your reasoning, and maybe we'll try to see your point of view. But I mean, like, we're all for it. Like, leave us a comment. Let us know, why do you think that's okay? Why do you think that you think we're just blowing things out of proportion, or do you think that abandoning your children is okay?
Like, I legitimately just really want to sit down and talk and ask why. Like what were you thinking? How were you feeling? Like how can you move on and knowing that your kids are over here, like you used to care for them, you literally used to nurture for them, and now bam,
they're literally half of you.
They're just there now.
I know. I was like, dang, if only we can get like Uncle's First Wife to be on here. Like,
well,
but okay,
but in a welcoming way though, like, because literally, like you said, it's just for education. Like, and I know that maybe other people might have different reasonings, but just at least one person, like
maybe the situation and scenarios were different at that time. Maybe there were different limiting factors, outstanding factors that were affecting, that certain situation that we don't know about. But at the end of the day, you abandoned your kids. I mean, like, that's just what it is. Point blank, period.
Coming from someone who's not even the child of those parents, I hold on to this type of resentment towards that person, because I'm like, she's not even my mother, but I still feel hatred.
Yeah.
And so for the children themselves, it must be confusing, because they must feel hatred, but at the same time, they know that they miss
and they yearn.
They yearn for the love of a mother or love of a father, whoever left. They yearn for that. So even though they might be angry, they must yearn for that love.
That's
so then they give in.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
When they get older, like, it must be so confusing for them.
Yeah. I just want to throw this thing. Quick little, I don't know, like, connections. The other day I saw on TikTok of, like, slam poetry. Yes. There was a guy, he was like doing slam poetry about pretty much an absent father, and it's like scenarios, and he was so good at it. Like, his delivery was on point. We can probably link it. I'm gonna link it, because if you're somebody that don't really know how it is, if you watch this little video and for the link, you're gonna feel that point of view. It's gonna hit you hard.
So we'll link it in the YouTube video caption, or in the YouTube video description, and then we'll also post it to our Instagram stories and pin it to our
episode.
our visuals. There's a highlight on our Instagram page that says visuals to go with each episode, so you can just click on that and you'll find the link.
So it's just to sum it up real quickly, it's just the way he's talking about, like, you know, how his father's not there. So he wrote a letter. He's reading all of his old letters, like, on every milestone, birthdays. I'm about to cry already thinking about it, because it was just
like his letters to his dad.
Yeah, and it was so good. He's just reading about, like, at first how he's like, when he's 5 years old, he's like, hey Dad, where are you? I thought you were coming to my birthday. And then, like, 16, he's like, hey Dad, and it starts getting more angry. I'm about to cry. He starts getting more angry, and then there's one that he's like 20, like, he's older. Gosh, I'm such a crybaby. Anyway, he's older, and then he's like understanding. He's like, hey, you know, I'm 30 now, blah 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 blah. You still never came, and you just have to watch it. Like, it was so impactful. Yeah. So good.
That must be so...
it's like, why would you want to, like, just think about the impact that you're doing.
Yeah, the impact.
Or, like, for those of you who know people who have abandoned their kids, like, I hope that you guys can understand where we're coming from. And kind of resonate where we're coming from, because, like, we're just outsiders to the abandonment.
Yes.
So I don't know.
We don't have, like, firsthand.
Yeah.
But it's something so important that happens very often, no matter what race you are.
A little bit more often than, you know,
often than it should be. Yes. Yeah, because it's like it takes so much commitment to even want to have a baby. Yes. So it's like people, I feel like, don't like understand how serious it is to have a child.
The severity.
It's a lifelong commitment. You can never go back to your old self.
It is.
Like, you can never go back to pre-kids. No.
Completely.
It's for the rest of your life.
That's true.
And for me, like, the adults, like, what? I just
mind boggled.
I literally just cannot fathom that, because, you know, I have now, in my age of 28, I literally know so many adults that have done that to their children and still have the face to go see their children, or have the face to act like nothing ever happened. And it's like, you know, you belong in a special place that is not good, because I don't understand how anyone can do that to... I just don't understand how you can have the heart. I don't understand.
Kids in general, like you said, kids are just so innocent. Like, they don't deserve that.
And it's like, kids are not kids forever. They're gonna grow up to be adults, and we're gonna understand that, like, we would never do that as an adult.
And it's like, you need fucking therapy, for real. Like, I'm sorry, but you need to leave. You need to work on yourself. You need to go see a fucking therapist. You need to not ever make children again, because gosh, there are some people that just don't deserve to be parents. And if you can't take care of your children and you want to abandon them, please give them up for adoption or something. Like, seriously, for another family that could actually take care of them. Like, I'm just so tired of people just abandoning their kids, like, after recreating so many damn kids and then just up and leaving. Like, it's not fair to the children. I don't give a fuck about you, but it's not fair to the children and to the partner that you're leaving behind.
Well, and especially the kids, they literally did not ask to be born. Exactly. They did not ask to be put on this life. You know how hard life is already.
Yeah.
You know how hard life
out of
is.
Everybody.
Yeah, you out of everybody. And then you're bringing all these lives into the world that you know that it's so hard to live in.
Making it so much more worse by not.
It's just such a bad thing to do, that I don't know, like, people act like it's so normal. Like,
I can't understand how that's normalized.
We need to start calling these people out.
That's what I was just gonna say. Like,
call CPS, for real. I'm tired of it.
As much as I don't want people to resonate to this episode, like, I want people to, because I know everybody knows somebody who has
at least one person.
1 in 5 people in today.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, at least one fucking person that has abandoned their children.
Or like doesn't give a shit about their kid.
And y'all don't call them out. Y'all act like it's
okay.
It's fine. Like, it's
not
nothing.
okay.
It's not okay.
Like, fight for custody for your kids if you're the other person, because obviously they don't care. And I'm so tired of, like, people being scared of, like, oh, but then, you know, like, I'm gonna need to get child support, and it's like,
my kid, or they're the mother of
babes,
my kid.
they abandoned you and your children.
I know some people that are like that they took charge, and they're like, you know what, I'm F that other person. I'm taking care of my child. If you don't want to do it, then you need to, like, you're not going to be a part of it at all.
Exactly.
I know people like that, and it's just, you know what?
That's what needs to happen, because why should you suffer because they decided to abandon you and your children? Why should you suffer? I mean, shoot, get what you can, because at that point you're literally just trying to survive. And then from a child's perspective, like, you don't know what's going on, you're clueless.
Right.
Just think about right now, like, if I was to abandon Oliver and Isla, like,
That's crazy,
like 7 and 2, it's like they don't even know anything.
They know mommy though, so when
you know what I
mommy's
mean,
not
like,
there no more,
like they're gonna start to realize that, I mean, eventually when they get older too, like, mommy's not around no more, you know.
Like, as the other parent, as the more stable parent, I feel like it's almost better for you to just cut the other person completely off, rather than having, like, because I also know situations where that other parent will come and go half-assed, and go when they half-assed it. That's going to make it even more confused and harder for the child.
Okay, I'm not trying to say that this is like trying to joke, but it's like that movie, like a scary movie, I think it was, or whatever, where it was no, not another teen movie or something like that, where he was like, I'm here to pick up my kid, and he literally picked up his kid and put it back down the car seat. And I'll link that little short funny video in the description, and I'll also link it on our Instagram. But it's literally just like that. Like, that's what it reminds me of. It's like you're not even present, and then you literally there just to pick them up, and then
you're confusing them. You're doing more harm. You're doing more harm than good.
I don't know. Personally, me, guys, if it was me, I would just literally be like, "Oh, they died." Like, that's like you say, like, you know, like,
I would make that fool pay child support, and then they can't.
Well, that's what I mean, like, to the child. Like, I'll be like, like, they died, like, you know,
they're gone.
Because it's like,
that's just getting more confusing.
When they grow up, like, yes, I'll tell them the truth. When they grow up,
then you will.
It's like, as children, they're so vulnerable that they don't.
It's confusing for them.
They can't comprehend yet.
Their brain's still literally developing. So of course it's gonna be confusing for them for the rest of their lives. You know? And for the the parents that are, you know, in and out all the time, like, it's gonna make it even more confusing for them.
Because it's not stable.
It's not stable. It's not consistent. It's not stable. And it's just gonna be even way harder for the kids too.
And confusing.
Yeah.
I just feel like we're complaining, but it's not. Like, I never ever heard anybody talk about this. Ever.
And I like we've been saying, it happens more than we know, and I know
it's
that
literally, like you said, about we all know somebody.
I have a feeling that
you know at least one person that you know has done that.
And like, not like, we're not saying like just abandoning, like leaving, like, to a different country, different state, like abandoning, like not even being present
in the child's life,
like don't even care, doesn't help clean up, like doesn't do nothing.
It doesn't even have to be child abandonment either. It could be like, if you and a partner's together and y'all don't even have kids yet, but they just up and leave. That's literally abandonment too. Like,
that is
like, you know, not having any closure and literally just fucking up and leaving. Because there are people that do that too. Like,
yes,
it's crazy how much.
I think for me, those just like, people are the type of people that they are cowards. That's the only word I can think of. They're cowards.
They gotta ghost you like
because they are not man enough or woman enough to face
confrontation.
Their consequences.
Yes. They're so afraid to face their consequences, so all they do is run. That's all they do. And unfortunately, I know people like that. I mean, I've experienced people like that. So, and you know what? They're gonna be like those
for the rest.
There's no change
their lives.
In them. There's no change.
No matter who they're with, the cycle will continue. Yes. So if you see yourself in a situation like that, run far away, baby, and don't ever come back, because it's only gonna get worse.
As always, we upload every Monday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, unless we post otherwise.
Yes.
You can follow us.
Oh, sorry. So, just
for any updates,
check our stories, because that's where we're
on Instagram.
Yes.
On Instagram and Facebook. We always update if there's any changes or sudden postponing
because life happens.
Episodes. Right. You know. Life happens.
But you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter. Oh, not Twitter. Sorry. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor.
all at 116th Hotline.
Yes.
And feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. And also, if you want to leave us a review, leave us a few comments of review on our YouTube videos, as well as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. They do reviews there as well. That just helps push our podcast out to other viewers who want to listen to something similar to this, and you know, just kind of get it out there to people that really want to hear about the things we talk about.
And I feel like the best thing you can do for us is just sharing our just share
share around to get exposure.
Yeah, the exposure is like the best thing, I feel like.
And you know, we do this all on our free time. We don't get paid for it,
it's just
anything like that. But I do want to put out there that since we are growing at a fast rate, I just want to say that thank you so much for everyone that's listened and tuned in. And if you are interested in sponsoring an episode or interested in doing, you know, a partnership, feel free to DM us or email us or message us, and we'll be more than happy to work with you guys if it's something you're interested in. I just wanted to put out there because we are growing and we've already had a few offers, so I just wanted to put that out there as well. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next week for a new episode.
Bye.